Hello. In this video, we'll be discussing the workflow of Humio from when a log is pushed to when it gets stored on a disk. As an example, we take a single instance of Humio deployed via Docker. In this Docker container, we have a front-end node, which is our API, Kafka, and the back-end node for data. You could opt to have Kafka run standalone. The workflow shown here will still be the same. Data sent from your log shippers first comes into the API node. At this point, the log is validated and authenticated, and the ingest token is verified. If there is an error receiving the log, a message is sent back to the log shipper, so the log shipper can resend that log at a later time. If receiving is successful and validated, it is pushed into the Kafka queue. If you're utilizing the HTTP API, you will get a success response from Kafka when the log was successfully added to the queue. After the log gets processed by Kafka, it gets pushed into the data node, where it gets assigned to a repository and the data source is set. From here, it gets fed into a buffer of log lines. As the buffer fills up, it will append to the end of the currently active segment file until the segment file fills up. The default size for this is 1 GB. Once this file is filled, it becomes immutable and it is stored into historical segments on the disk. Each segment is associated with a timestamp, so Humio knows the time range associated with each segment file. Those timestamps are then stored in memory, so Humio knows which segments exist and what time frame each segments cover. These files will stay on your disk based on the retention policy that you have set. You can optionally offload these historical segments to an offsite storage, such as an S3 bucket. You will have the ability to re-import these segments at a later time, should a historical query be needed that is past your retention time. This will conclude our log ingest workflow. Thank you, and see you at the next session.